Good day, everyone, and once again we are back. Your favorite uncle is back. All right, so we are looking at that Gauteng exam in preparation. Of course, I know most of you will be writing tomorrow. So if you haven't subscribed, hey, what have you been waiting for? Just hit that subscribe button. Okay, right. So we're looking at financial mathematics today. I'm looking at a question here from the Gauteng exam. Right, let's hop onto it. It says two friends, which is Guda and Tabo, each want to invest 5,000 for 4 years. And in this case, Guda invests his investment, or his money rather, in an account that pays simple interest at 8.3 per annum. And at the end of 4 years, he will receive a bonus of 4%. Okay, so we need to note that of the accumulated amount. So it will be 4% of the amount that would have accumulated after 4 years. And they say Tabo invests his money in an account that will pay 8.1% per annum interest compounded monthly, right? They want to know whose investment will yield a better return at the end of 4 years. Okay, right. Now let's have a look at this particular question. So let's start with Guda. Okay, so I'm going to look at Guda's investment. So we know that it's going to be simple interest. So remember, our simple interest formula is A is equals to P. That's 1 plus I times N. Okay, so we know he invests an amount of 5,000. That's 8.3%. So that's going to be 0.083 multiplied by the 4 years, right? Okay, so let's try and make that calculation. So that's 5,000 into, that's 1 plus, of course, please whip out your calculator at this stage and obviously try to calculate alongside me. Right, so I get an oh no, actually I made a mistake there. 0.083, okay, times 4. All right, so I get an amount of 6,660, right? That's the accumulated amount. But remember, what we still need to do is we're still going to take that amount and add the 4% to it, okay? So it means I'm going to take that amount and say, well, what is 4% of 6,660? So you say 4 over 100, okay, that's 4%, multiplied by 6,660. Okay, so what does that give us? And that's multiplied by, no, actually, let me take the answer. Okay, and multiplied by 4 divided by 100. Okay, that's 4%. So I get 266 Rand and 40 cents. Okay, so what we're going to do is add this amount to the original, which is 6,660, and I get an amount, a total amount of, so the total amount that Guda accumulated was 6,926 and 40 cents. Okay, right, now we're going to compare that obviously with Tabo's investment. Okay, all right, let me just take this down a bit. Okay, so now we look at Tabo, and remember that Tabo was investing at 8.1%. That is at compound interest though, and it was compounded monthly, right? So in this case for Tabo, it's going to be AP, that's 1 plus, and please just make sure that you know your formulae, guys. So remember, because it's compound interest, I'm going to divide by the compounding period or rate, in this case, multiplied by that rate as well. All right, so that's 5,000. That's 1 plus, our interest is 0.081. Okay, that's 8.1%. Okay, but it is compounded monthly, so that's 12 months in a year. and in this case it's 4 years, but we multiply by the number of months. Okay, so let's see what that will give us. So that's 5,000. And please, when it comes to financial mathematics, guys, it's really not that difficult. It's just a question of knowing your way around your calculator. And yeah, believe you me, you will be able to survive. Okay, so that's yx4 times 12. All right, and we find an amount of 6,905 and 71 cents. Right, so if you look at this, it goes without saying that Kuda's investment will actually be much better. So therefore, it means that Kuda will get a better rate. Okay, yeah, you can finish that off. All right, now let's go to the next question. All right, now they say to us, 9 years ago, a bank granted Mendy a home loan of 525,000, right? They say this loan was to be repaid over 20 years. And by the way, guys, sorry, my voice is really not at its best. I've been talking a lot lately. So please, I hope that you don't mind. All right. They say Mendy was granted a home loan of 525. This loan was to be repaid over 20 years. Okay, and in this case, at an interest rate of 10% per annum, compounded monthly. Right, so they say Mendy's monthly repayment commenced 1 month, exactly 1 month after the loan was granted, which is the usual, practice. Okay, they say Mendy decided to make monthly repayments of 6,000 instead of the required 5,066 and 36 cents. How many repayments will she make to settle the loan? All right. Now, what we're going to do, ladies and gents, is that obviously we're going to use our present value formula. In this case, we know the present value in this case would have been the 525. So we know we just simply say x plus 1 minus 1 plus I. Okay, that's minus n divided by I. Of course, you are given these formulae. In this case, you must know what the formula actually looks like, or rather which formula you're supposed to more or less go for. Of course, when we're dealing with loans in this case, it is always advisable to use the present value formula. Okay, so we know that the repayment that she makes is 6,000, right? So in this case, she makes a repayment of 6,000. We know the present value was 525,000. Okay, and in this case, I'm going to say, well, this is 1 minus 1 plus 0.1. Remember, it's a monthly interest rate. Okay, so at the end of the day, we make sure that we factor that in, right? So that's divided by 12, okay, minus n. Now, if you want to, you can say 12, n times 12, but what that will give you is that it will give you, the number of years, right? But then you still need to multiply that by 12 to get the number of months. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it as n in my case so that I'm able to just get the number of months. Okay, right, so obviously this I'm going to divide by 0.1 over 12, which is our interest there. Okay, right, so guys, I will just advise from here on, honestly speaking, it just becomes about your work on the calculator, right? Please just make sure that you familiarize yourself. Of course, it's going to be mathematical gymnastics, so I'm going to just explain a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this portion, right? Remember, this is divided by 1, right? So I'm going to cross multiply. So I'm going to multiply that whole fraction into that 525,000, okay? Right. and you'll see that you'll be left with just this numerator, because that multiplied by 1 will still be itself, right? This whole thing multiplied by 1. So in this case, I'm going to divide by 1,000. In fact, let me just not stop talking a lot and just make the calculation. So that's 525 multiplied by 0.1 divide by 12. Okay, so right, so we get that amount 437, right? And so what I'm going to do is divide that amount by 6,000. Okay, all right. Yeah, man, I see that there's something actually wrong. That's 525,000. 525, yeah, 525,000. Sorry about that. Multiplied by 0.1 divide by 12. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it looks promising now. Okay, so obviously I am going to get that 4,375 is equal to 6,000. Okay, yeah, I might as well just take you through this because I know many of you struggle when it comes to this portion. So that's 1 plus 0.1 over 12 minus n, right? So what am I going to do this time? I'm going to now divide both sides by 6,000. Okay, so that cancels with that. Okay, so on the left hand side, I'm left with that 1 minus 1 plus 0.1 over 12. Okay, minus n. All right, so that's what I have on the left hand side. Of course, I've got this fraction, so let's do that now. Divide by 6,000. Okay, we can, yeah, actually let's make that into a fraction. So I've got 35 over 48, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the 1 over to this side, right? So note in this case, if I say minus 1, I'll be left with that bracket now, minus 1 plus 0.1 over 12. Right, I'm just deciding, look, I might as well just take you through it, the calculation, because I know that's where many of you struggle when it comes to this particular type of example, right? So now I'm going to have that fraction. I'm going to subtract the 1. Okay, so that gives me minus 13 over 48. So that's minus 13 over 48, right? Now, of course, I can multiply both sides by negative. In this case, what it does is that it will remove those negatives. Now, this is the part where we will introduce logarithms, right? So I'm going to take the log of 13 over 48, okay, is equal to the log of 1 plus 0.1 over 12, okay, minus n. Now remember, in this case, the law of logs, in this case, if I've got a power there, it can simply jump down there. So that would be minus n times the log of 1 plus 0.1 over 12, okay? And of course, this would be equal to the log of 13 over 48, not 45, okay? So 13 over 48, right? Now, all I'm going to do, ladies and gents, of course, I'm going to divide both sides by log of 1 plus 0.1 over 12, okay? I'm going to do the same here, log of 1 plus 0.1 over 12, okay? Really, I would not advise you to write all of this down. I would expect you to do it on the calculator. I would have done so, but I thought, it's better that I take you through it, right? Okay, so now I'm taking log. Okay, look at it. That's 13 over 48. Okay, right, so that whole log there. Okay, this is divided by, don't worry about the gibberish that the calculator is giving us. We'll convert it nicely. Divided by the log, in this case, of, we said it's 1 plus 0.1 over 12. Okay, so there's our answer there. All right, so we will convert this. So in this case, I get minus 157.4 is equal to minus n, negative n. So therefore, n is 157.4. As I said, you could have said minus 12n in this case, but what it would need for you to do is just convert to or rather multiply by 12 at the end, right? So now it means that's the number of months, okay? So please note, in this case, there is no, well, we say 157.4, but remember that 0.4 is actually a month as well, okay? It's like saying 2.5 people, right? That 0.5 is actually a person. There's no 0.5 of a person, right? So what we will then do is obviously round off to the nearest whole number, which in this case is 158. So it means that the number of repayments that she will make, the number of repayments that she will make, okay, would be 158. Right, I hope that has been understood. Okay, so I hope that even the calculation you'll be able to do on your own. Okay, right. Now, the last portion of it, they say after making monthly repayments of 6,000, okay, all right, for 9 months, Mandy required money to fund her daughter's university fees. She approached the bank for another loan, okay, but instead the bank advised Mandy that the extra money repaid every month could be regarded as an investment, and that she could withdraw the full amount to fund her daughter's studies. Right now, they say calculate the maximum amount that Mandy may withdraw from the loan. Okay, so what I'm going to do, there is an approach that you can take. In fact, you can use the balance of a loan, okay, but I think that's a more difficult approach. But I want you to understand what I'm going to do here. Remember, Mandy was required to pay, what was the amount? I think 5,066. Yes, there's the amount, 5,066 and 36 cents, right? So I want to know how much does Mandy pay extra, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 6,000 that she pays and subtract the 5,066 and 26 cents that she pays. So she pays 933 and 75 cents and 74 cents extra, right? So it means that this amount that she pays extra can actually be regarded as an investment, right? So now what we can do is we can use our future value formula and say, look, how much are we investing? We are investing 933 rands and 74 cents. Yeah, I am correct, right? Did I subtract the correct amount there? I said 26. Yeah. Please pardon me, guys. Yeah, so that would be 64 cents, yes. So in this case, she is investing that amount of money, right? So I can use my future value formula and say, look, we can take that as an investment. Okay, so future value, is going to be x into 1, or rather, in fact, for the future value. So we just simply say, sorry, that's 1 plus I, okay, and minus 1, okay, divided by I. Right, so in this case, how much is she investing? She's investing that amount, 933 and 64 cents. Okay, and in this case, obviously that would be 1 plus, it's at 10%, so that's 0.1. Okay, now over 12, all I would need to do now is just find out how much is 9 years, right? She had been investing for 9 years. Yes. Yeah, so remember, she had been investing for 9 years in this case. So she approached the bank. Yeah, yes, it is 9 years. So in this case, I want to know how much is 9 years. So that's 9 times 12. And that gives me 108, right? So I am going to say that's 108. Okay, that's minus 1. Okay, all of that divided by 0.1 over 12. And of course, again, we're going to use our calculator there. Okay, right. So we're going to just say 936. Okay, so really there's nothing much to it from at this stage, except to, I keep making, it wasn't 66 cents. I got, was it 36? Yeah, I just keep making these funny errors in in the process. Actually, it was, I think I had said 933 and 64 cents. Yeah, that's the money that we got, right? 36, and then we subtracted. Yeah, so that would be 64 cents. All right, I know you guys will accuse me of making mistakes at the end. Okay, so that's 933.64, right? And I am now going to put that in the bracket. Say that's 1 plus 0.1. Okay, notice I've opened two brackets, right? Divide by 12. Okay, I close that, and that's yx 108. Okay, I'm going to take that down. That's minus 1. Okay, so I've closed that bracket. Okay, and divide that by 0.1 over 12. All right, I get an amount of 162,503 and 51 cents. Okay, so it means that will be the amount that will have accumulated from the extra amount that she's paying in this case. Right, as I did say, there is another way that you can do this. You can also calculate the future value from the 6,000 that she's paying, and the future value from the 5,000 rands that she's paying, 5,066 that she's paying, and you can take the difference between the two. Okay, so that would be another way. You can check that out and let me know if you do get the same answer. Okay, right. Otherwise, ladies and gents, I will see you guys next time. I hope that you enjoyed this particular segment. And of course, I'll be doing a live session later on today. Please do join in. I will let you know. I think it will be at 4 o'clock. You can join me at that time. Otherwise, I'll see you guys again next time. Sharp, sharp.